Okay, hello and what's up everyone, yet again, it is 3:05, so obviously it hasn't been that long since I recorded the last video. This time I'm going to be showing y'all how to set up the correct stances. So, we are going to be moving this into the storage. We are basically going to be moving everything into storage except for my, drag cars, which there should technically be 7 of them, but since there is only 6 parking spots outside, I can only do my best. Okay, we gotta move one more. I'm going to try to go in order with these. Okay, so number 1 would be the Barracuda. There's the Camaro. Here's the Cuda. This would be the first one y'all would have done. So we are going to tuning the suspension. The axle width on the front would be at 0.02. Gonna give y'all a second to look at that. The dampening should be all the way up to help. Leaf spring mount should be at 0.02. Shocks, I always put them on the best shocks, which for some reason I had forgotten to do. Shock size, I always raise it all the way up. Spring brackets should be all the way up. Now the stiffness, I usually have this all the way down and tune the front end. Oh crap. Okay, so obviously that's not gonna work. So I'm gonna lift it back up here. Whoa, too high. Back down to 8,350. So 8,350 guys. And the travel at 33. No, let's go ahead and go 35. So I'm gonna run that through y'all again. Axle width 0.02, dampening all the way up, leaf spring all the way, shocks 2, shock size all the way, spring brackets all the way, stiffness 8350, and travel 35. Now the rear axle width is none because it has wide tires on the back. Dampening should be all the way up. So there's dampening. Leaf spring mount is the same. No rear steering because that would just be stupid. Shocks all the way up and shock size all the way up. So I'm going to give you all a second to look at those. Spring bracket, stiffness, I'm just going to turn that all the way down to get it to the 8350 like the front. And travel is going to be about a 36. So there's 35, 36, okay. Okay, so I'm going to run that through to y'all again. Axle width none, dampening all the way, leaf spring all the way, no rear steering, shocks all the way, shock size all the way, spring bracket up, stiffness 8350, and travel is 36. Now it's time for the tires. The front tires I have turned all the way down. So, so it's more like a drag car. Wheel radius is at 0.9, and rim size is at 0.1. Is at 1.1. The rear, I start with the rim size, which is the same. Wheel radius is 0.9, and wheel width is 0.14 to make it really grippy in the rear. And while I've got this car out, I'm going to go ahead and show y'all gear tuning. Well, not gear tuning, but dyno run. If you buy the perfect setup, it sets it up perfectly where you can run the dyno. and you can get 1410 horsepower out of the car max. And since I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and show y'all the best gear ratio, which would be 2.7 in first gear, 1.2 in second, 0.8 in third, 0.6 in fourth, and 0.5 in fifth. That will help you with your top speed wise. And since I've got this car out, I will go ahead and throw me some rims on it that match my other cars. Make sure I've already got the slicks on it. I do. I'm going to turn my brightness up. Okay, spend 5,000 on that. And there you go. There's the Barracuda. Now next, I believe, was the El Camino. Tuning. Tune suspension. Axle width on the front is the same. Is 2.02 or 0.2. Because I'm pretty sure if you did that, that'd be goofy, or that would be too far in. So 0.02. Dampening is all the way up. Or at 6400 is the best. Leaf spring, shocks, shock size, spring brackets, stiffness 8600, and travel is 34. Never mind, make that 33. Okay, axle width on the rear is none. Dampening is 6400. Leaf spring is 0.01. No rear steering yet again. Shocks 2. Shock size 2.2. Brackets all the way up. Stiffness 8600 again. Travel 39, which will give it that nice drag look. Okay, wheels. Front, I have a 1.1 in the front. On rims, tire radius is 0.8, and wheel width is 0.7. In the rear, I have a 1.1 rim size, a 0.9 rear tire, and radius and width is 1.6. Now y'all can bump these around just a little bit to make it look a little bit better to your likings. I'm just giving you suggestions to what I think looks best. And yet again, I can go to the dyno. I bought the tuning pack, so if y'all want to do that instead, the fuel ratio would be 3.5, the timing will be -2. Then I will run the dyno for y'all. Which is also running a 1410 horsepower. Now, I believe next is the Fox body. Now, as you can tell, I have this set up as the cop car. Suspension. Axle width in the front is none because the tires already fit the car perfectly. Dampening is 4600. Leaf spring. Shocks. Shock size. Spring bracket. Stiffness 8600 again. And travel is 0.32. In the rear, axle width is none. Dampening is 4600. Leaf spring is 0.01. No rear steering. Shocks. Shock size. Spring brackets, which should be at 1. Stiffness 8600 again. Travel is at 32. Now I'm going to skinny up those tires to make them feel a little bit better. Wheel width is 0.7. Wheel radius 0.8. Rim size is 1.1. Now it's time for the rear. The width is 0.9. Let's see if I can go a little bit higher with that. Oh crap. I can go a lot higher with that. We're going to go with a 1.1. There we go. A 1.1 wheel width if you are setting it up for drag. And rim size is also 1.1. I also bought the tuning for this one. Timing ratio is 1.0. Fuel ratio would be negative 6.5. Or you could buy the perfect tune, the perfect setup, and it'd set it all itself. Horsepower yet again. Now I believe after that was one of the two Novas. And then it was the Bel Air. No, then it was one of the Bel Airs, so these are probably going to be all out of whack in order, so axle width is 0 in the front, actually. Go to the last notch on 0.01. Dampening is 4600. Leaf spring is 0.01. Shocks, shock size, spring brackets, stiffness 8600 again, travel 34. First notch of 34. Axle width is 0. Dampening 4600. Leaf spring. No rear steering. Shocks. Shock size. Spring bracket. Stiffness 8600. Now I'm going to have to tweak the travel. Get back to the level it was sitting. Which is about right there. Right at the first notch of 37. Now, time for tires. Rim size on the front is 1.0. Wheel radius is the second to last notch, or the third to last notch on 0.8. Like I said, y'all can tweak this around to however y'all see it fits. Wheel width is 0.7. Now it's time for the rear. Rim size is also 1.0. Wheel radius is 0.9. I think I might tweak it down to about the second notch. Okay, there's 0.8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sixth notch on is on 0.9, and the wheel width is a 1.3. Y'all can go a little bit skinnier to make it fit a little bit better. But I like the big beefy tires because they still fit, not by much, but they do. Dyno Run. I just bought the Perfect setup on this one. And as y'all can see, never cease to fail, 1410 horsepower back to back. Then, I believe after the first Nova, it was down to the Camaro. Tuning, doing suspension axle width, we have set at a .02. Dampening, 64. Leaf spring. Shocks. Shock size. Spring bracket. Stiffness 8600. And travel is 32. Now it's time to go on for the rear. Axle width is 0. Dampening 64. Leaf spring. No rear steering again. Shocks. Shock size. Spring brackets. Stiffness 8600. And travel is 34. The second notch on 34. Now it's time for wheels and tires. Front rim is a 1.1. Wheel radius 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth notch on 0.8. And the width is 0.7. Rim size, which to me honestly needs to go up to like the second notch on 1.2. The radius is a 0.9 and the width is a 1.5. You can pause the video through any points y'all want to write any of this down on a piece of paper and then go to your game and set it up the way you like it. Start from what I'm giving you and then work around to what and play around with it, see how you like it. But as you can see on every one of my cars, it has my channel name. Now I believe next would be the next Nova. Let's hope it kicks it out here to us. And it did not. It kicked a trailer out here to me. Okay, here it is. The other Nova. That was the dog in the background, just ignore that. Or is that the other Nova? Yeah, this is the different one, ain't it? I can't tell. It looks like it is. But we are going to tuning. Suspension axle width is 0. Dampening. Leaf spring. Shocks. Shock size. Spring bracket. Stiffness. And travel. Actually, I'm going to upgrade that to get it down to the 8600 and move it up to about a 30, the second notch on a 35. Now the rear, axle width, none, which I'm going to have to do the same here with this. And we're going to move it up to about a second notch on 38. Okay, the travel on the front is actually going to be a 34. second notch, 38 travel, stiffness, spring bracket, shock size all the way, shocks, rear steering none, leaf springs, and that will be it for that car. Go ahead and go over to the width, a 0.7, radius 0.9, and rim size is 1.1. The rear rim size is 1.1, radius is a 1.0, and width is a 1.2. See, it gives it that nice drag look without overpowering it. Actually, that's a little too overpowered, but without completely goofing up the car. That's the best I could get it to look. Now, I believe, last but surely not least, the one I have just recently done, is the Bel Air, which was kind of tricky to do with the wheel covers on the back. I may have to tweak this one a little bit more, see how much more width I can get out of the back. Tuning, axle width is none. Dampening, leaf spring, shocks, shock size, spring bracket, stiffness, and travel. Rear, axle width none. Dampening, leaf spring, rear steering, shocks, shock size, spring brackets, stiffness, and travel. Now next will be the tires, rim size, radius, and width. Rear, rim size, radius, and width. So I can't exactly tweak that too much because it decides to do that. So we are going to pull it back in just far enough, like that. Make the front tires really skinny to where the back is a good decent size bigger. And there is that one. We are going to do a dyno run. I've got the perfect tune on this one as well. 1410 yet again. Now, this is probably not gonna be... I know this isn't one of the barn find vehicles, but I'm going to go ahead and show it to y'all. I just bought this today because the timer had just let out to where I could buy it. And here it is. I'm not sure what vehicle it is, guys, so y'all leave a comment down below telling me, or letting me know what vehicle this is. Oh, darn it. But we are going to move it out to show y'all what even a old vehicle like this, with my kind of setups, will do. It is pushing 705 horsepower. Now, I am just going to go in here before I end this video. We're going to move my regular trailer out. We are going to equip the trailer. We are going to load. We are number 1 going to repair the vehicle. Number 2, load it on the trailer. And then we are going to take this one out. We are just going to run to the stunt park for the moment. And I'm just going to show y'all what my basic gear tuning and my fuel system and everything else and the other perfect tune will do for you. Now, the El Camino that I loaded on the trailer does have a slight shift upgrade in it. I have set it up, but I haven't really got it up to speed much, because I haven't drove it much, because I've been trying to collect money and everything like that. Plus, I haven't really had time to play the game much, which is why these videos are coming to you so late. We're like 80 mile an hour already and pulling a trailer. So we are just going to drop the trailer here. If y'all ever decide to join online and want to put your cars up against everybody else's with the setups I give you, this right here is probably going to be your best bet. You'll line up here, go to the chat section, or the little pop-ups that'll be right here under your high and low gear and everything. You would scroll all the way down through those and click want a race, or it'd say race with a question mark. You click that, get someone lined up with you, and then under that would be a countdown, which would actually go 3, 2, 1, and then you can take off. But I'm going to show you what these vehicles can do. Number 1, if you're in reverse with this kind of setup against a wall, you immediately start doing a burnout. Okay, let's see. I haven't really tested this one on speed. There's 100, 130, 140, 150-ish. My phone is at 5%, which means I need to hurry this video up. Look at this. 150 again. And that right there is like one of the only ways you can stop your vehicle from hitting the wall and damaging it. Okay, here we go with the El Camino. Let's go ahead and get... Go ahead and get the rev up to take off. Okay, there's 100 already in second gear. that was 160 mile an hour. And I only got up to 4th gear. Now, I'm going to do the same thing on the way back. And this time, I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to let it hit the wall and see how fast I can get it all the way there. So let's get the launch control going here. – 180 mile an hour, and I still have 1 gear to go, guys. But I guess this is going to be it for the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know down there in the comments if this video was helpful. And don't forget to go follow my Instagram page. It's right there for y'all to see. And I will see you all in the next one.